name is Haris Sarafopoulos. I work for the National Center for Computer Animation at Bournemouth University, and as part of the virtual open day, I'll be talking today about computer animation art and design, computer animation technical arts, NBA visual effects. The courses are offered as part of the National Center for Computer Animation at Bournemouth University and also as part of the Faculty of Media and Communication. So this is the website for the National Center for Computer Animation. You can go there by just typing this very long link or just Googling National Center for Computer Animation. In the banner here, you can see the reel from our undergraduate degree show in London, in Framestore, which was it's one of the big VFX companies in London, of our student work. Every year when the students graduate, we organize exhibition in London for a one-day event where the students would present their work to people from industry. So this is an edit of all the students' work presented in August 2019 in London. The National Center for Computer Animation last year celebrated its 30th anniversary. This year is the 31st anniversary. It was founded in 1989 by just a few academic staff, some computer science and artists. The ethos of the National Center is combining art and science. The motto is science in the service of the arts, and it's basically the idea of combining computer science and engineering and art to create computer animation. This is something that this is a principle that we still follow, and the academic team, in fact, is composed of not just artists but also engineers and computer scientists, which produce computer animation. In 2011, the National Center was presented with the Queen's Anniversary Award for world-class computer animation and teaching, and since then it has received quite a lot of accolades by various and positive reviews, trade magazines, and other, if you like, review websites for courses. These are our undergraduate and postgraduate. These are postgraduate programs: MA Digital Effects, MA Computer Animation, and MSc Computer Animation Visual Effects. And these are our undergraduate programs, which I'm going to be talking about in some detail later. Here you can see various news and articles by staff taking part in conferences, presenting work, or films that they've worked on, festivals they organized, and so on. This is the students' work on Vimeo. Degree shows of Vimeo. You can see there all the students' work, all the graduating students' work, postgraduate and undergraduate. These are links for the last 3 years, 2017 to 2019. And these are the various industry links and accreditations. We have a Screen Skills accreditation for computer animation technical arts, as well as our postgraduate programs. And these are the various, if you like, reviews by trade magazines and sites. We organize the BFX Festival. It's an annual event where we invite a lot of people. This is part of the National Center of Computer Animation and in the context of Bournemouth, of course, University. Invite people from Pixar, ILM, Disney to talk about their recent production, and a lot of computer games companies talk about their work that they recently produced, and techniques and recent ideas in games, film, and VFX. We have been doing very well in research. In the recent research excellent framework, the National Center for Computer Animation was one of the top places in the UK, or maybe not the best place in the UK for one to do research in computer animation. And this is the team. As I said, we started with the small team, but now we have more than 30 academic and technical staff. And these are links about alumni successes in VFX, which I'll be talking about later on as well. So yes, it's a good place to have a look at National Center of Computer Animation website about courses, alumni, research, and our programs, and also to see a lot of student work. These are some of our mostly, successes in terms of alumni winning prizes. So on the top right, we have Antti Lokli. Here, the guy with the glasses holding the Oscar statue there. He won 2 Oscars. He graduated back in 2001, I believe, from the MA Digital Effects, and he has won 2 Oscars since, one for Interstellar and one for Inception. He's closely collaborating with Paul Franklin, which also won a person that's sort of one of the founder of Double Negative in London, one of the biggest VFX companies in London and Europe. And he also they won the Oscars as part of the same team. So Paul Franklin has also won these 2 Oscars, and he has been supporting the NCCA and been our external examiner, working for us, sometimes coming and talking about his work and doing lectures for our students and supporting the NCCA. The bottom left, we have Mark Addington. This guy here, holding and looking at the Oscar statue is Mark Addington. He won. This is 2016 when he won the Oscar for Ex Machina. This is the sort of other people of the crew that did the visual effects for Ex Machina. Here we got Paul Canova. He was nominated for an Oscar this year. He has been nominated for several times. He has been working for ILM for quite a while and has been working for most of the recent Star Wars films. He has won several BAFTAs, but not quite yet. Has not won an Oscar yet. So we hope he will win an Oscar in the future. And of course, this is the team that worked on Frozen. Behind the scenes, we have like dozens of people working on most of these blockbusters. As I said, with graduating students for quite a while, and it's probably the rule rather than the exception. If you see one of those blockbusters, there will be dozens of NCCA, Association of Computer Animation graduates working on those films. These are some of the most recent successes. We're trying to promote our students and staff by submitting work of our students in festivals. Most recently, we have Doriana Re, who was nominated for the Global University Film Awards 2020 in Hong Kong, and actually her film has done really, really well in the festival scene. In 2019, we produced with Dorset Police the Cat Your Strings campaign, which was supported by the Duchess of Cromwell, and that was produced by 2 very recent alumni, Lucy Wright and Fran Towe. 2018, we had a nomination for Best Young Animation at the Stuttgart Festival, one of the biggest festivals in Europe. That was Listen, a film called Listen by Emily Kimball. So Stuttgart 2018. And 2017, and very, very often we do get nominated, win Royal Television Society Awards in the Southwest. This is work by Marrington Reeves and Corker Martin on their film called Handsome, their little music video called Handsome, which they produced. And I was nominated for the Royal Television Society Award at the time. So this is our most recent work. Now, before I do that, again, before I go further, it's worthwhile mentioning, obviously, that our students do really, really well. And therefore, just from our alumni, we have a lot of very good industry links. So students, graduates, and alumni working with Double Negative, Framestore, MPC, a lot of games companies, Frontier, Windows, Microsoft Rare, Sony, Industrial Light of Magic, DreamWorks, so in the UK and other places. They often come back and present their work, set live project for our students, and also help with the teaching and delivery of work in units like the masterclass, which I'll talk about in a second. So yes, very good industry links, and that also basically resulted in, as I said, quite good reviews by trade magazines, websites, as well as Screen Skills Accreditation, which is basically a body that uses industry panels to accredit media, animation, and games courses. So yeah, the 3D production pipeline. So what are doing? These are some of the successful students, and as I said, is worthwhile going and try and following those links and seeing their work. But what in general our students do while they graduate? Well, they work in the context of the 3D production pipeline. They can work in any aspect of the 3D production pipeline. So the 3D production pipelines here explained in basically as 3 stages: pre-production, production, and post-production. It does involve very creative, very technical aspects. Okay, the pre-production, I would say, is one of the most creative parts, where the concept of a film or a game or game design or an idea of a story is produced. Then the characters are designed, a storyboard is produced, so still images which sort of outline the, the important parts of the story, the nature of the story, the characters, and the main sort of the action or the interaction in if you like in a game event in a sort of game design. Um, Environments, characters are designed, and then eventually production, where these characters are produced for the screen. We do not do cell animation, we don't do stop motion animation. All our production here at Bournemouth University and the National Centre for Computer Animation at Bournemouth University is done using computers. So, you have these virtual models, the textures, the lighting, and the way they reflect light, the material properties of the surfaces of the models is all done using computers. Sort of this virtual, you have these virtual puppets which they have to be set up and then animated. Uh, Maybe the current technology doesn't quite do what you want for the production, so you need to extend, do the R&D, research and development. You need to do the layout, follow the cinematography, set the camera, organize the scene, um, and so on. This is sort of part of the production. And post-production, in the end, all these layers of animation and lighting and effects and are all composed together, very often with real footage. So do the effects, sound, color correction is done, and then eventually you get the final output. Okay, so a good example of a production like this is, I would say, the Jungle Book. So this is a film that's produced by NPC, and lots of our graduates have worked on this film, and it's worthwhile. Oops, it's worthwhile having a look at the, if you like, the this is all done using computers. There's no actual, none of this is actually real. All the trees, the plants, and so on, is all CG. So a lot of artists have to work, and a lot of technical artists have to work to simulate the lighting, model the environment, light and texture the events, and composite. This is the post-production as composite the actors on top of the CG background and animal actors. A lot of simulation of fur, the setup, the technical setup of the virtual puppets for the animation. Crowds of herds of animals have to be simulated. The lighting and shading, material properties of the environment, the refraction and reflection of the light, the muscle structure and the textures on the tiger, the if you like the movement of the skeleton as well as the muscle and skin has to be simulated, and then everything has to be composed together. The artists have to animate the characters and the emotions of the characters and the interaction with the actual actor. As I said, this is produced by the Moving Picture Company, but a lot of our students have worked on this film. Okay, so this is the kind of production our students graduate and go to work for. Okay. And what makes our courses, if you like, special, different, unique? It's basically our focus on teamwork and the disciplinary teamwork, emphasis on understanding all the aspects of the pipeline. So people would be taught, taught an overview of all the production pipeline, but they would then asked so that they can collaborate with artists, can collaborate with engineers and technical artists and engineers can collaborate with the artist as well. So there's empathy for all stages of the pipeline, but also we encourage our students to specialize in terms of the style of the work they want to do, the technique of animation they want to, with the context of computer animation, which now is a big discipline, and visual effects and games they want to focus in and create their own personal style. This is a little sort from the animation Spaghettify, which you could screen and see if you go to the undergraduate website. This is Lucent, which you can see there as well. This is Spaghettify. It's quite nice. A lot of complicated animation there and VFX work, which demonstrates the specialization of our students, stylistically and technically, if you like. Okay, our students would allow to work in groups as well as individually when they graduate. In terms of the specialization, this is some of the master classes we do. We allow industry to set live briefs. This is the VFX masterclass. So this is double negative, giving us this characters, this animated, this motion capture characters, and students have to do, technical artists and VFX artists have to do this, if you like, the VFX to have this attacking, if you like, character, and this character being attacked, but very different interpretations. So this is very much what a VFX artist, a technical artist, would do working for a company. This is a live brief. This is a particular nice one. I like the stripes that develop in the body of the character. And this is the Blue Zoom Masterclass, another company that says live brief for us. And this is an animation masterclass. So the students are asked to do an NCCA logo. So they would work. They're given this character, which is freely available online, but then the brief is to animate him to create a logo for the NCCA. And that's the NCCA logo. This is the 2019 masterclass. Okay. For the students to do all that, we offer a lot of the resources, all the resources. In fact, all the software that they need to use is offered as part of in our animation labs, which are all the machines in the animation lab, state-of-the-art machines with state-of-the-art software for animation, games, and visual effects. We have now moved into our new Paul Gateway building. It's opened just recently. And we have new screening rooms, a new green screen studio. This is the former from the old one, but the new one is as big, probably a little bit bigger. This is the green tank, and we have a separate motion capture studio as well, animation lab, collaborative animation labs, and a new live drawing studio as well. So big investment in resources. Our students, of course, I've mentioned quite a lot of the work that our students have done, but sometimes they do set up their own companies, and one of the big successes for freelance artists setting up their own company is Blue Zoo. So Blue Zoo is a company based in London, and they have, if you like, they graduate from 2001 and 2002, I believe, which set up the company in London. This is one of the biggest now production animation houses in London, doing a lot of work for CBeebies, Nickelodeon, lots of sort of young animation, preschool and teenage animation. And time to talk about the courses. So there are 3 courses, undergraduate programs. The first is computer animation, art and design. So design and aesthetics, contemporary production practice, and theoretical underpinnings of cinematography and the moving image. So this is focused on design and animation production. A lot of emphasis on character and environment design, character animation, and storytelling, as well as the theory and the history of animation, moving image, and theory of cinematography and film. And this is Computer Animation Technical Arts. I'm the program leader for Computer Animation Technical Arts. This is quite a unique program. It's a blend of art and computer science. So people sometimes don't know what a technical arts person does. What's a technical artist? What is a technical director? So a technical artist, a technical director is an artist. However, it's an artist that creates the art using code. So as opposed to just doing everything interactively using interactive tools, the tools are basically quite technical tools. In fact, sometimes they will have to write their own tools. Yes, so they have to problem solve, create their own tools, and therefore create this kind of algorithmic, procedural, generative, if you like, type work. This is from Hanson. The 2 technical artists sort of worked on that. The film that I talked about in the beginning of the presentation. So they have developed their own tools, but they have to use them for creatively. Okay, so creating art using code. So there's a little video of graduates. This is the oldest program, undergraduate program we're running. It's worthwhile having a look at the little video that is produced for the course, and sort of some of the successful sort of graduates and work that our graduates have done in various companies. So so this is work that they've done for DNEG. This is Mark Addington, that graduated from this program, talking about the course and his Oscar nomination and successfully winning the Oscar for Ex Machina. This is Catherine working for Double Negative as a digital artist, a VFX artist. A lot of people working for Jungle Book. This was made after Jungle Book. This video was made after Jungle was produced. So talking about the work they did. And a lot of the stuff that they say there is one of the best films they felt that they worked in was basically the Jungle Book. This is Easy. Used to work for Blue Zoo, and now she's setting up on her own. Yeah, and it's producing a lovely film here called Via. Let me stop this. So while going to the computer image technical art side and seeing this video, talked about what a technical artist is. And finally, we have the visual effects course. This is the emphasis here is basically integration of CG and real footage. So visual effects students will not do live drawing, but they would typically do a lot more photography and acquisition, visual storytelling using camera. Okay, so they would combine real footage with CG, and that's basically the emphasis of the course. So visual storytelling, cinematography and acquisition, asset creation, and integration of these CG assets with real footage. Between second year and the third year, students have the opportunity to do a placement. For the first time this year, we have minimum 8-week placements as well. Or the students, if they can find a 30-week placement, that will take a whole year gap between the final year and the third year, do the 30-week placement. Otherwise, they can do a summer placement, if you like, 8 weeks. The 30-week placements are difficult to find in this industry, so that's why I'm introducing for the first time the 8 weeks placement, which is part of the course. A lot of students need to do that anyway by finding summer placements from various VFX games companies, but now we, as I said, we made it as a formal part of the course. We do help students to and we have faculty support to develop their reel, write their CVs, but eventually securing the plate is up to the student. So we give them links, but eventually it's up to the student to succeed finding a placement. The placement is optional. And yes, please do join us and submit submit your work. So thank you very much for following the presentation, and yes, to apply.